Hi everybody, it's the Midnight Whisper, and I guess this isn't going to be a very relaxing video because I just have something to get off my chest. I have been really stressed lately because of social situations, and it's really hard to explain what I'm feeling because although I'm not having problems with people or friends, it's just really, really stressful for me to be around people a lot of times, to the point where it's debilitating. Ever since I was a kid, I've been kind of socially awkward, and from the time I was in maybe first grade up on through 7th, I could hardly speak to anyone. And in 8th and 9th grade, I started to get over that. But now I realize it's not exactly like just shyness. It's more of a social anxiety disorder, and I don't know. I went to a therapist a couple weeks ago. Well, she's more of a counselor, and I talked to her about this, which that in the first place was really, really difficult for me to do because of the problem itself. And she told me that some antidepressants can help a little, and I've been on an antidepressant in the past, but I got off of them because I didn't like the way they made me feel. And I realized that when I'm not on antidepressants, I just have higher highs and lower lows than a lot of people, I guess. Like, I can be really, depressed, but I can also be really, really happy. But when I was on antidepressants, I found that it was more, there was a smaller amplitude in that, ups and downs wave. Oh my God, I just said amplitude. I'm such a nerd. Anyways, so I don't want to go on antidepressants again because I don't like what they do to me. But things are starting to come together in my mind, and now I realize that the social anxiety was the ruin of my last relationship. I've had 2 relationships, and it's really difficult for me to go on dates, get to know, people. A lot of people are like, why are you single so much? And that's the problem. It's the social anxiety. And it's really hard for me right now, in particular because there's a guy that I'm very interested in, and he's quite a bit older than me, but that's okay because age really doesn't matter to me, and it doesn't to him either, apparently. But now it's kind of making me depressed because I know that as soon as I have to pick up the phone when he calls, I'm gonna get really nervous. And I mean, even just calling my grandparents gives me like this tightness in my chest. It's like almost painful. And it makes me really nervous. I mean, I'm pretty close with my grandparents, but there's just something about the phone in particular that's, I don't know, it makes me feel like handicapped. I've been tested for autism in the past, and I think it was called the AQ, autism something something, I don't know what the Q stands for. And anyways, the average person scores from around a 16 to a 28 on the test, and I got a 36. I've never been diagnosed with like Asperger's or anything, Asperger's syndrome, but I don't know, maybe I'm like this hypochondriac kind of person, but like I was looking up symptoms for Asperger's syndrome, and I have some of those, but yeah, it's mostly just the anxiety, so I figure it's not mild autism or anything. It's also very difficult for me to express my feelings to people, and that in turn causes me a great deal of stress too. I have a very, very close friend who I spend a lot of time with, and she's shy, but she has no problem talking on the phone, no problem meeting new people. I mean, if people talk to her, she talks back fairly easily. Like, she can hold a conversation with someone she's never met, but it's just the speaking up part of the meeting process that she has trouble with. And for me, it's pretty much everything. And I haven't really talked to anyone besides the counselor about this. I really have to get this off my chest to somebody. So I figure I might as well do it on YouTube, and you guys can tell me if you have the same problems or feel the same way, or if you have any tips. Also, what the counselor just told me is that avoidance is just going to make the problem worse. But, I mean, right now, just thinking about picking up the phone to call this guy, or picking up the phone if he calls me, like, it's giving me that weird tightness in my chestal section, and it's really hard for me to breathe when I talk on the phone, and just thinking about it right now is making it really hard to breathe. I don't know why that is, but it's got me pretty upset because I'm really interested in this guy. And, I mean, I need to feel comfortable in a relationship for it to last a long time. Because in my first relationship, my ex and I didn't really communicate a lot. And I had no problem, if he called, I had no problem picking up the phone. And I had no problem hanging out if he wanted to hang out. But the thing is, we never spent time together if I wanted to, and that's why the relationship ended. And now I feel like the tables have turned, and now I'm the one, on his side now, being the avoider, and I don't know why. And I'm really worried for my future, because now I'm starting to wonder how this is going to affect my future relationships. I mean, I'm really, really interested in this guy, and we have so many similar interests. We both speak a lot of different languages, and actually he's from France, and he moved here because, well, a lot of things happened to him in his childhood. I won't get into them, but right before he decided to come to the U.S., his brother died in his arms, and that was his breaking point. Like, he just couldn't stand to stay in France anymore, so he came here, and I mean, we get along very well. It's just, it causes me so much anxiety. And I have a drink once in a while to help with social situations, and I know you're not supposed to do that. And in fact, on this one website that I was looking at for social anxiety disorders, that was one of the symptoms: using drugs or alcohol to alleviate stress. And I have done that quite a lot in the past. I mean, even at family parties, I'll be honest, I used to have quite a few drinks when I was, well, I won't say how old I was, but I'm just trying to figure out how to manage my stress before it turns into something else like alcoholism and, more failed relationships. I've always had anxiety, mostly of the social situation kind, and there have been different things that I've used to help with that. I ran for a while, but I mean, I got as obsessed with running as I did with avoiding social situations. And running for me turned into more of a disorder, combined with maybe a slight eating disorder. So I feel like everything I do ends up turning into something unhealthy. Like, there's always one thing that is consuming me. It used to be ballet, and I quit that because I knew it was consuming me. I really didn't care about anything but ballet. And for a while, I didn't care about anything but running. I don't know. Sorry if this isn't relaxing, guys. I just need to let some of my feelings out. And it's really difficult for me to do that to people, because I have my one closest friend. I even have trouble letting my feelings out to her. And when I do, I am like an emotional wreck. I'm crying and like bawling all over the place. And I mean, she's kind of the same way too, so it's better, but it's still very stressful. I'm at almost 15 minutes, so I'm going to go. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.